Coach, last week, and of course now you were just telling me a little bit ago about some of the injuries right at the beginning of the ball game, and then it's bad enough that happens. You run into a pretty good football team that's playing as well as they played in a long time.
Centerville's playing really well right now. I mean, they've been putting a lot of points on the board, and they're playing really stingy defense, and they get after you a little bit, and no excuses for anything, but I mean, they were a better football team by far on last Friday, and we just had to make some adjustments and things that we weren't really counting on doing. So, that's the name of the game, though. You get somebody hurt, somebody's got to be ready to step up.
But they are factors you and I talked about a little bit ago, and that's hard. I don't care what anybody says when all of a sudden you're thinking, listen, I'm without two running backs and a slot player all of a sudden, and you're having to make that change so quickly.
Well, yeah, absolutely. We kind of. I think we kind of messed around a little bit in the first half. We were trying to find something that we could do with the personnel that we had, and we tried some one-back stuff. We tried some other stuff. We tried putting the ball in the air a little bit, and we just weren't finding anything in that first half. So at halftime, we actually went to a pro formation, which I haven't run in 10 years. And that helped a little bit. We got two backs in the backfield a little bit, and we had a kid that had to step up. Josh Miles is a freshman kid. He's maybe 130 pounds, and he had started on defense this week, and he's been playing really well, and he's an aggressive kid, but he's just not very big. And all of a sudden now he's got to play offense and defense, and he played his butt off. I mean, that kid came in, he had an interception on defense. He knocked another pass down, had several tackles, and then on top of that, we're asking him to carry the ball. So, I thought he did a great job making do with what he had, and some of the changes that we did. We were running. The plays aren't really different, but the formations are, and it's just an adjustment for everybody. So, it is what it is. And I thought we did some things okay in the second half. We just didn't, and defensively, I thought we played much better in the second half as well. And they really didn't pull starters till the last 3 or 4 minutes of the game. So. Second half I thought we played much better, but, we kind of got in trouble there in the first half.
Coach, before we talk about your matchup this week, you're about at the halfway point right now, and considering the factors of last week and when you might get some of those kids back, as you look toward the second half of the season, what areas right now would you look at and say, boy, we really need to pick it up here and here to get ourselves ready for the tournament?
Well, I think for us personally, I think our passing game needs to get better. And I think we were better last week. We still need to pass for a higher percentage and hit some of the shorter routes sometimes. And our pass defense. I think our run defense has been pretty good. We've had a couple issues in the secondary every now and then, but it's nothing that can't be fixed, nothing that we can't get better at. It's just a matter of getting in and practicing and making sure we, I guess, put them in pressure under pressure in practice, so that when they get that in the game, it's not as big a deal. So, I think those are two areas that we need to improve on.
Coach, a Winchester team that is struggling a little bit right now, and I think you're correct. They're probably better than that 0-4 record indicates right now. But for you guys, and in fact both teams right now, a huge matchup this week.
Well, yeah, everybody, both teams, I'm sure, want to get that TEC win, and and wins in the conference are a big deal because that affects our all-conference selections later on and everything. So, nobody wants to, lose conference games at all. But both teams being 0-4 this week coming up, and not having any conference wins, it becomes a huge game for both teams. And Winchester does some things a little different offensively this year than they're running some single wing stuff, and it's something you don't see very often. It's kind of like when you play Northeastern and a lot of their wing T stuff. You don't see that a whole lot. So it's something that. It's something different that we got to prepare for, and hopefully we've been trying to figure out how we can slow them down a little bit.
Are you going to have your kids back from a health standpoint?
Well, Jeremiah Holder is cleared. He's good to play this week. Britton West practiced yesterday. He's maybe 60% right now, so he may be available for a little bit, but not extended action, I don't think. One other good thing is we got a kid that had transferred and left, and he came back to school. He got his practices in. In fact, he was my number one running back last year before he was injured. Matt Fields is back and he's playing, so he should get some action this week as well.